Welcome to Walking Out Your Purpose with yours truly, Alicia Smith, where we focus on you reaching your full potential in all areas of your life through intentional dialogue and putting in the work. Let's get motivated to action so that we draw closer to realizing our life's purpose as women of God, wives, mothers, and businesswomen. Now come on in and eavesdrop on a conversation with me and sometimes a few others as we discuss having faith over fear from the pew to the boardroom and everywhere in between. I'm glad you're here. Let's get to walking out our purpose and accomplishing all that God has for us. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. It's what I use each and every time I upload an episode for you. Let me explain. It's free. There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. And they will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Now, why don't you go download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Welcome back, and welcome to, for those that are new to the Walking Out Your Purpose podcast with your host, always doing the most, Alicia Smith. And this week, I'm so excited to be before you all to talk about something that is near and dear to my heart. It's something that I do every single year, personally, professionally, spiritually, mentally, all the things, right? And that is goal setting, okay? Your girl is all about goal setting, getting myself organized and ready for what I want out of life, okay? And we know that all things start with God. All things begin with prayer, begin with knowing our word, so that as we think about the things that we want to, quote unquote, manifest for our life, it's in alignment with God, His will, His character. Okay. So anything that I talk about on today, as we discuss goal setting and getting ourselves ready for a fantastic, purposeful, prosperous year, it goes without saying that we first and foremost start with God. We start with His plan and His purpose for our life. And so anything that we desire, anything that we want to accomplish, again, must be in alignment with what He would have for our lives, okay? So everything that I'm going to talk about today, as we think about the steps and as I give you examples of what even some of my goals are, I've already sought God about this, and I know that this is what He will have come to pass. I'm just that big on my faith, and I know what God has done time and time again. I do this again, you all, every year. I've been doing this for years upon years, and so I know what God can do when we step out on faith, okay? So we are going to talk about goal setting, and I really want this episode to be very practical. So we're going to do some steps. We're going to talk about what is it that we need to put in place to make sure that we get something out of this life, right? As you all know, we are not aimlessly walking around. We are on purpose, in purpose. And so we need to be intentional about the things that we desire. We need to be intentional about doing the work, because remember, God has blessed us with these minds that we have, with these hands, with the energy, with the knowledge. He's equipped us to be a blessing, to make an impact, to make a difference. It shouldn't matter that you are in this world. It should matter to someone else that you cross paths with them. Okay, so we're not just having goals and thinking of these things to be selfish. No. We are doing these things so that we can make an impact on someone else's life. We can give encouragement. We can inspire. We can influence. We can make a difference. we can turn someone's life around, or at least help, right? Because God ultimately turns their life around, but we can help with bringing them to a place of, comfort, or a place of, wow, I can, confidence, right? A place of, I can do this. And so that's what we're going to delve into today. All right. So I hope that you get your pen and your paper, or your notes app, or your notebook, what have you, because we're going to school today, y'all. All right. So the first thing when you are thinking about goal setting and what it will take to achieve your goals, it starts in the mind, right? So number one is think big. Okay. We don't do small thinking over here, right? This is the Purpose Squad. And so we are all about going big, right? So think about stretch goals. Think about big things, right? And it needs to be realistic, right? We don't need to say, tomorrow I want to be a millionaire if you're not nowhere near being a millionaire. But we still want stretch goals, okay? So we still want to make sure that as we think about what it is that we want for our lives, that it's going to require, right, effort. It's going to require some sacrifice. It's going to require some prayer and wisdom and support. So that's what I mean by stretch goals. If it's just something that you can roll over out your bed and just get done in 5 seconds, that's not really the type of goals that I'm talking about. Okay. We're talking about, again, things that are going to require some action planning. Okay. So first, we're going to think big. We're going to think about stretch goals. Okay. We're going to, number 2, write it down. And we know as people of God that Habakkuk said it best, right? Write the vision down, make it plain, right? Make it simple. And so we're going to write down our vision, write down our goals, our aspirations, whatever you want to call it. Okay. The things that you want to accomplish in 2022 and beyond. You're going to brainstorm and just write it down. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be written, perfectly. Now, it does need to be SMART, and we'll talk about that acronym in a second, but you want to just start writing things down. Okay. And you want to see it before you see it, y'all. Okay. That's where faith comes in. So even if it seems, Lord, how am I going to accomplish this? Right. You all know, I believe I said it on a previous episode. If not, I'll say it here, is that my husband and I are believing God. We're trusting God. We're putting in the work as well as prayer to get a house. We've owned several houses in our marriage, but we're in a season of not owning a home. And so we are in an interesting environment. As you all know, it's 2022. So we are in a pandemic. And so housing prices have skyrocketed, right? And so, but we still want to provide a home for ourselves and for our children. And so that's something that we're believing God for. So you best believe that is on the goal, the goal sheet, if you will, for Alicia and Henry for 2022. All right. So we're writing it down. It seems stretch, right? It's not unrealistic. It's just, it's stretched because the prices are, higher, but we believe God, and we know that we'll come back with a testimony later this year about that. But anyway, but you're going to write it down. You're going to see it before you see it. You're going to make it visual. You're going to imagine, right? I'm thinking about my 4 or 5 bedroom house. I'm thinking about, my kitchen. I'm thinking about my pantry. I love to organize. So I'm thinking about all these things. I'm seeing it before I see it, y'all. And so write it down is number 2. Okay. And as you all think about the things that you want to accomplish, whatever you have in your mind, if you believe it, you can achieve it. And I know that sounds cliche, it rhymes, it sounds good, but I really mean that. If you can believe it in your mind, you can achieve it. And again, I've already given the information about our goals are in alignment with God, right? So I don't have to give that that statement anymore. So that's number 2. Okay. So number 3 is you are going to categorize the goals. Okay. As you brainstorm and you write everything down, then you go back and you say, okay, how can I group some of these things together? Because sometimes for some, it can be overwhelming, especially when there's so much that you want for your life. And so we need to prioritize and we need to group things together. Okay. What's financial, what's spiritual, what's physical, maybe what's related to my career, my business, my personal, my family, relationships, etc. So if you categorize it, then you can start to prioritize. Okay. So that's number 3. We're going to categorize our goals. Okay. And let's be clear, because clear is kind, as Brene Brown would say. Clear is kind. So be kind to yourself. Get clarity on what it is that you desire and write it down and then categorize it into those sections. Okay. The Bible tells us that without vision, the people perish. The Bible also tells us that we have not because we ask not. Okay. So this is all, again, biblically sound. All right. So that's number 3. We're going to categorize. Number 4 is we're going to look at what we've written down and we're going to think about what is the common theme, right? That's woven through all of these goals. What is the word or the phrase or the theme that is speaking from what you have written down? And if you have not listened to the last podcast, please go back and listen. Excuse me. Actually, not the last. Well, you can go back and listen to the last one as well, because that's the one on servant's heart. But the one before that, I talked about my word of the year, which is fearless, you all. Okay. We're focused. We're excited. We're doing the things that we need to do. And as I thought about all of my goals and all the things that I know that God would have for me and my family, fearless was my word. But you could have a different word. And so you want to look at what you've written down and what comes to mind as you're reading through that. What do you desire? What do you want your word to be? And allow that to manifest. Okay, so that's number 4. We're going to identify that theme or that word, because that's going to help steer you when you're in a wreck, when you're not feeling like it, when you're not feeling motivated, when things go awry. You can come back to whatever that word, that theme, or that phrase is, and that will get you back where you need to be. Okay. And in addition to, of course, prayer. All right. So that's number 4. Number 5, we're going to build habits and routines that will help us to accomplish these goals. Okay. So it's not enough to just write it down. We need the words to come off of the paper. We need the words to come off of the vision board and the pictures to come off of the vision board, right? We need to put action in place. And so it's good to put some habits and routines, right? So if you say, I want to do I want to have more devotional time with God. Okay. Your habit or your routine could be every morning I'm going to open up my Abide app. If you don't have the Abide app, I'm not sponsored, but I love Abide. So check them out. But I'm going to open up my Abide app every morning and I'm going to spend time with God. Okay. And so that is going to be the routine or the habit that you're going to put in place to accomplish the goal that you had to have devotional time with God daily. Okay. So that's what we talk about when we're saying habits and routines. Another one of my financial goals is that I want us to save $10,000 for our emergency fund. Okay. If the pandemic has not taught you anything, it's that you need to have savings. And I love to save. Okay. So I want to have $10,000 in our emergency fund by December 31st. Okay. That sounds good. And to make it come to life, I have to set a habit. Okay. The habit is I need to make sure that I break down that goal into manageable chunks, right? So for me, every paycheck, I'm going to have a certain amount of money being saved to make sure I hit the 10K goal. Okay. Well, how do you do that, Alicia? Well, 10,000 divided by, for me, I get 24 paychecks a year is about $400 and so. So that's what I'm going to save every paycheck. Now I put it on auto deposit. So I don't even have to worry about it. I don't have to think about it. I don't have to worry about it. Okay. Whatever that is for you, I'm just giving you an example, but whatever that goal is for you, again, you want to set a habit or routine so that you can be sure that you're going to accomplish that goal. So as long as God continues to give me breath and value that I can add to the organization, and energy and health, I'll have a job, which I really call a career, not really a job, but I'll have a career. I'll be working, and I'll be able to contribute that money into the account to make sure that I have that at the end of the year. That's a financial one. Spiritual. I want to fast, certain times in the year. Okay. So in order to do that, I need to set a habit for that. Okay. Well, I'm going to get more specific. I want to, maybe it's fast one time a week. I'm going to get me an accountability partner that we could do that together, right? That's going to create a routine. All right. So I'm just giving you guys some examples, but whatever your goals are, the point here is that we don't want to just set it in January and then we come back in December and we haven't accomplished anything. And the only way that you can do that is you have to break that goal down. And you have to set some habits and routines. Okay? So that's number 5. I think that you all got that one. All right. Now, life, you all, it becomes exciting when you know that you're in purpose. When you know that you have goals that you want to accomplish. It gives you that extra step, right? That extra pump in your step. It gives you that extra wind, right? And so you want to make sure that you think about the goals in the context also of your purpose, because purpose will keep you up at night, not in a bad way, but it'll keep you excited and energized, and you know that you're here, you're living for a reason. And so that's what I want us to get to, a place of, it's not just goal setting because that's the fad, that's what people are doing. No, it needs to be on the inside of you that, you know what, Lord, you have me here for a reason. And I'm going to make the best of my life while I'm here on earth. It's going to matter that I was here. Okay. So that's the kind of thinking that I want us to get to. All right. So that's number 5, is build your habits and routines. All right. Number 6, build your network. Listen, we cannot do many things alone. It takes people, it takes resources, it takes energy, it takes a lot of things to make sure that we can accomplish the goals. Because remember, we set stretch goals. So these are not just, minuscule goals. These are big aspirations that we have. And so we need each other. And so that network could be this podcast, of course, to listen to and encourage you and to help you along your path. But there's a plethora of ways that you can stay encouraged and you can build your network. Okay. Your spiritual family. Listen, you all, we need each other. Okay. And we need to be able to form relationships with the people that we attend church with. And, not everyone needs to know everything that you got going on and all your business and all that, but find you, a couple of folks that you can share your dreams with, you can share your aspirations and your goals with, and you all can help each other accomplish those things. Okay. So build your network. Your network, again, can be physical people, right? That you interact with, but it also can be online, YouTube, podcasts, ministry, all those things, right? Books, etc. So build your network so that you can, again, keep motivated, encouraged, and build out your resources and what you need to make sure that your action plan and your goals come to fruition. Okay. Listen, you all, it's very important that we understand, if we are not growing, we are dying. Okay. So it's critical that we set something in place to take us to the next level. Okay. We're not supposed to, even biblically, Paul said we're not supposed to be still on the baby food, the milk. We should be beyond that, right? It's the same thing in our lives. We need to continue to level up. All right. So number 6 is build your network. Understand what the resources are that can support you and that you need on this journey. And number 7, you all know we're going to do 7 because that's completion, right? Number 7 is think about your past success that you've had, right? So think about other, times in your life where you set goals. It could be work related, spiritually related, financial, what have you. Think about something that you set before for yourself, whether that was formally or not, but that you had success. How did it make you feel? Right? I'm sure a feeling of fulfillment. I'm sure a feeling of success, jubilee, joy, etc. So think about that. Again, it's going back to kind of that see it before you see it mentality, right? It's think about those past successes and what helped you to succeed in that space. Go back to that. What were the habits? What were the things that you were doing? What mechanisms did you have in place to make sure that you were successful? And get back to that space mentally so that you can give that same energy and put those same steps into practice for whatever it is that you want to manifest in 2022. Okay, so again, just real quick, we're going to recap. Number 1, think big. We got to have stretch goals. Number 2, we're going to write it down. We're going to get very clear. Remember, clear is kind. We're going to number 3, categorize. We're going to group like for like. We're going to prioritize from there. Number 4, we're going to allow the words to speak to us. What's the theme? What's the word of the year? What's the phrase? When I'm down and out, when I want to give up, boom. Oh, nope, Alicia, you're fearless in 2022. Let's go. Okay. Number 5, we're going to build our habits and our routines. We're going to check in on ourselves. How are we doing on our goals? Okay. We're going to make sure that we have some things in place, some processes, some routines, etc., so that we succeed. Number 6, we're going to build our network. We're going to have people around us, accountability partners, to keep going. And number 7, we're going to think about what made us successful and, what made us accomplish those past goals that we had and made us successful. What did we do in that time of our life, and how do we bring that forward? Okay, so think about past successes and implement that structure. Okay, so those are the 7 things about goal setting and what it takes to achieve our goals. I want you all to focus on what you want, because whatever you focus on, your energy goes there. Don't pay attention to the distractions, because there'll be so many people and so many things around us trying to deter us. Nope. We're going to stay focused, because remember, you have purpose. You have work to do. You are an agent of God Almighty. So you always have work to do until He calls your name. You have work to do. Okay. Success, you all, as you think about it, it's hard to attain sometimes, just because there's going to be a process and we want everything quick, but it's a process. And so sometimes we're going to fail. Sometimes we won't hit the mark. But what are we going to do? We're going to keep that enthusiasm. We're going to keep that excitement. We're going to keep pushing, because we know that in all journeys we learn. So what are we learning with our failures? What are we learning when we don't hit the mark? That's what we need to be thinking about. Not the fact that, man, we stumped our toe. Man, we fell down. Oh my gosh. It's going to happen. We're human. But the key is, what do we learn? All right. So I want you all to be in action in 2022. You all know we're all about putting in the work on this show. So be in action. Don't be passive. Don't just listen to a whole bunch of, information, because we have information overload. I'm here to tell you, myself included, right? There's so much to listen to. But the point here is that we got to put some stuff into action. So when we're listening to things, and there's nothing wrong with learning and growing, but what are you going to do in 2022? So I need you all to believe in yourself. I need you to find out your goals, write them down, and I need you to know your why, because that's going to keep you in the game. All right. So I hope that you all were blessed by this lesson that we shared on today, all about goal setting. I want you all to accomplish so much this year, and I don't want you to get caught up in what didn't happen last year and what happened to me in 2020. No, we are pressing forward. We are looking forward. We are trusting God. We are believing God wants the best for us. We're stepping into our destiny in 2022. Come on, let's go. We fearless over here. I know you're focused over there. Somebody else is abundance. Somebody else is, focused on just joy, maybe, or, whatever your word is. I want you to go after your dreams, go after your aspirations. As my minister's wife, First Lady, said in a message last week, when she described faith, she said, fear ain't in this house. Let me tell y'all how that blessed me. I'm still talking about it. That is so profound. And I pray and I hope that you all take that to heart. Fear ain't in this house. And go after your goals and your dreams, your destiny, what God has for you. But in order to do that, you got to get organized. Write it down. Make it plain. And go get what God has for you. I love you all. Appreciate you all. Pray all God's blessings on you as you plan out your 2022. Please, 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 if you want to join my vision board party, it's a virtual gig, if you will, on January 29th at 7 p.m. Eastern. I would love to have you. You can obviously comment on this podcast, either in the comment section. You can send me an email, Alicia@aliciadsmith.com. I made it easy for you. Alicia, ALECIA, @aliciadsmith.com. And I will get you the Zoom link. We will be gathering ourselves 7 p.m. Eastern, Saturday, January 29th, to do our vision boards. You can bring all your materials online, again, through Zoom. You can do it on Canva if you want to do it digitally. You can bring your magazine cutouts if you want that. You can bring your Google pictures. That's what I'll be using, Google Images. You can bring all that with your poster board, with your picture frame, your cork board, whatever you want to use. Be creative. We are going to put our goals into those vision boards, and we're going to get it done. That's what we're going to do. So I hope that you'll meet me there. Again, I appreciate you. Thank you for listening. Please like, follow, share, subscribe, all the things. And I will check back with you guys very, very soon. Be blessed. Well, everyone, I hope you took some good notes and have at least one action you will take to propel your life forward in pursuing your purpose. Let's get it. We can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. Now go conquer your day and don't let it conquer you. Until next time, peace and blessings.